Yes, get in. Come on. Mbappe has arrived. It is official. Now, this isn't one of those videos where get carried away, he's going to become the next Ronaldo, he's going to score 60 goals a season. That's not what this is. But it is a video to try and put into words why we should be excited by what we're seeing from Kylian Mbappe. Okay, so I will be covering a lot of the positive things that came out of the game against Real Betis, but I did want to start with the man himself, Kylian Mbappe. So, towards the start of the game, he did miss a lot of opportunities. The ball seems to be bouncing off him, and there was that one opportunity where it came back off the crossbar, fell to him perfectly, and he blazes it over the bar. And you're starting to think to yourself, this is the man who's low on confidence. Nothing that he's touching is turning to gold. He's going to have his head in his hands. He's going to have the Bernabeu booing his name. And the complete opposite, because what I saw was a player who was getting into all of the right positions. He was making himself available to his teammates. He was making the right moves. And there was that one opportunity where the ball comes flying across the box and he's there to meet it at the far post. Not Vinicius, the left winger, Mbappe. And he's there and the ball just gets intercepted at the last moment. But it was coming. It was on the cards. And his goal said everything about the kind of player he is and what he brings to this side. Because as good as the pass was from Valverde, who was immense, by the way, the whole game, Mbappe's reaction and the speed to turn and finish there is something rare. And there aren't many forwards in world football who are capable of that kind of finish with that kind of reaction and that turn of pace, barring a certain Norwegian who, yeah, he's pretty decent, let's be honest. But what I would like to say is that Mbappe has done really, really well this game. Even the penalty, you could say, okay, yeah, fine, it's a penalty, it's a lottery, and his record isn't exactly setting the world alight, but you still got to convert it, and it still gives you confidence. And as we know, a confident Mbappe is something we'd like to see. And even seeing him arrive to the French national team, he looks happy, looks like he's in a good place, and he should be because he's had a fantastic performance. There were lots of other positives to come out of that game as well. I just wanted to highlight, obviously, I mentioned it before, Valverde. What can you say? This guy is different gravy. If you don't live in England, you might not get that phrase, but yeah, he's pretty damn good. He's pretty good. He just drags that team kicking and screaming up that field. When they're dithering about in their own area and there's a little bit of pressure, bang, off he goes. And suddenly we've got players streaming forward. And with the amount of pace that we've got in that front line, it's a sight to behold. I also wanted to give a mention to the substitutes and by default, Carlo Ancelotti for those changes, particularly Brahim Diaz and Fran Garcia. The latter of which, Fran Garcia, completely changed that side of the pitch. Mondi, before him, was completely ineffective. He wasn't offering anything going forward and he was walking a tightrope because of the early booking. But when Fran came on, he completely liberated Vinicius. He gave him that space. And even though Vinicius was perhaps guilty of ignoring Fran's runs down that side, it didn't matter because he'd already generated the space for Vinicius to operate in so he could chop inside and do what he wanted to do. On the other side of the pitch, however, you've got Brahim Diaz. And Brahim Diaz offered more in the time that he was on the pitch than Rodrigo had done all game. He wasn't afraid of anyone. He wanted to stand up the defender. He wanted to go past his man. And he did. And he played a big role in both of our goals. That's what you want to see. The little Spanish Moroccan magician running at players. It's really incredible. And the final player that I did want to mention was Tchouaméni, who has received a barrage of criticism this season so far. And rightly so, some of it is justified because he hasn't been winning those duels in the centre of the pitch. Today was different. Today he was assured in the tackle, he kept things simple, and that's exactly what you want from that player. The six is supposed to be that oasis of calm when you've got chaos all around you, and that's what he brings to this side. So It remains to be seen whether he can develop that consistency to his game. But if he can, we've got one hell of a player there. So yeah, let me know what you thought about that performance against Real Betis. These are a few positives that I take away from the game without getting overly carried away. If you did enjoy the content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Take care.